Hey, what up ladies and gents, it is your favorite Asian robot here in the training grounds, and I am here to show you that dauntless meta builds are worthless. Okay, so this person replied on one of my latest builds trying to say that Asian robot builds aren't the best, whatever, okay, blah, 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 blah. They did a lot of theory crafting. Listen, let me show you all how to prove that something does not work. Okay, so first and foremost, here is the build. Now, the only thing it's missing is a reuse cell, which I do have here, but I'm not putting it in because it's not going to have any effect in the training grounds. Now, the Reddit version of the build, or rather the official Discord, the meta build, is +6 Berserker, Cunning, Overpower, Predator, Pulse for the repeaters, together with a Riftstalker UE. All right, so we put in a Riftstalker UE. Okay, and you get Assassin's Frenzy. And then with a discipline cell, overall, they said that this would technically be better than my Charog repeaters. Okay, first and foremost, Assassin's Frenzy is conditional on breaking apart. Is it good in builds? Of course. But the idea behind the Charog UE was not to use the Riftstalker UE. It was to enable people to have survival included with the build, and also to enable them to dodge through attacks and benefit from that by triggering the Charog UE. However, in terms of raw damage, the training grounds is fair because no Assassin's Frenzy. Okay, let's take out the effect of Assassin's Frenzy, all right? Because what I'll demonstrate later is that you could utilize the same build that I did with the Riftstalker UE and completely blow a meta build out of the water, but let's take a look at it first. Damage numbers. All right, let's get into the actual demonstration, all right? Empowered reload to start with. I'm using precision sights on this. Now I'm taking out the effect of Captain's Grip because both sides will have it. All right. Let's have a look at what the damage looks like. Now, just for the sake of fairness, because there's a lot of differences between like the crits and all that. About 2075 DPS. All right, this is with the version of the build that is related to the official Discord. Now, if we look at my build here, which is the exact same from yesterday, I've taken out the Lantern Cell, to be fair, although it was just Etheric Attunement, which doesn't have any impact here. Toughness also, well, it has an impact on Tenacious, but technically, right, if I wanted to equalize with them, which I'll also demonstrate later, because theirs is flawless, I put in the defensive cells to ensure the Slayers can stay alive. But let's take a look at how much my build does. All right, so same thing, same demonstration. Okay, build hasn't been changed. Let's take a look. Doing the exact same thing with my build. All right, we're gonna go to 50,000. Please remember that theirs was at 2,075. Okay, let's take a look at how mine looks after 50,000 damage, and let's compare and contrast it. Okay, so after all that, right, mine is at 2,025 DPS. At first you might say, well, doesn't that prove that their build is better? Hold up. That is due to the effect of the Riftstalker's UE. The Riftstalker's UE, if you didn't know, unique effect, is always active, whereas my Charog UE is not triggered, right? So the Riftstalker's ultimate effect, unique effect, sorry, is that it increases damage based on the number of orbs. Let's take the same build, let's take my same build, all right, and let's equalize the UEs. So here we've put 2 Cunning cells in, we're gonna do the exact same thing. This is still my build, but we're just gonna add in the effect of the Riftstalker's unique effect, and let's see the difference. Okay, now here we go again. Are you sort of seeing it? If we were to equalize on a clip for clip basis, right? the damage went up to 2,300 with my build. Why? Okay, let's break it down and really explain why. Now, their argument is that Assassin's Frenzy, reuse, all this attack speed would really boost up the build and help you hit the attack speed cap. Obviously, that is the case. Obviously, that is the case. However, you could apply the same principle with my build. You could just shove reuse in here and that would equalize Assassin's Frenzy in that. So why did I use the Charog instead? The Charog instead was used for survival purposes because dodging is a natural part of the game. You get to power up and dish out a lot of damage just by dodging 3 times, you see, which was a unique thing that a lot of people had already enjoyed before, which is why I brought the Charog unique back. Can I use Rift Stalkers? Of course you can. Of course you can. You can use whatever UE you want, but ultimately the build itself functions very well. Could I make this even better? Yes, of course. I could take out toughness and throw in overpower. And I would have even more raw power in this build than what was demonstrated. This is because the build that they claimed is the best doesn't use recycle, which is very useful. Now, I will have a separate video explaining the proper use of recycle. And of course, if you want to use a flawless meta build, that's absolutely your choice. I've actually shown people how to build flawless. But for the average Slayer, having the option of having toughness in here is what helps them survive. And you can see the comparison. I've shown the numbers here. When you do an apples to apples comparison, you take out all the other extra stuff that they claim will do better. The builds are relatively the same. And quite frankly, my build outperforms. Apples to apples comparison. This is why I said, do a video. Don't just write a whole long ass theory because that's all theoretical numbers. Show it. Show it in game. Prove it. Because that's the difference right there. That's the difference right there. Okay. Now, what I am gonna explain before we go is when do you use this type of build? Okay, so when do you want to use a flawless build? You will notice that in the gauntlet runs, all right, we will have a situation whereby like we'll probably put down Catalyst in our builds and we'll do a full-on gauntlet run. That's when we use builds like this. Like now it would change depending on the gauntlet level, because when you're using Repeater Master, Robot Nation has a very different strategy. But what I would say is that when you're looking at like the early levels of the gauntlet, or when you're looking at trials, things like this, and you're in a coordinated team where your role as the repeater guy is to buff other people, that's when you would also put in overpower. Well, in that case though, most of the time you'd use savagery instead of overpower, because most of the time there'll be a wounding pike player that will wound the behemoth. You feed off that and use savagery to get maxed out damage. It's way better than overpower, to be fair. But yes, that is the general strategy that is actually utilized when it comes to trials. And when it comes to normal combat, you don't want overpower in there as well, because if you're going solo, and my builds take into account all situations. When you're going solo, there's no guarantee that you'll interrupt the behemoth. There's no guarantee you'll immediately get a part break. There's no guarantee that you will immediately knock the behemoth down. If you watch my streams, even at, say, level 18 and going into the escalation with maxed out escalation buffs, some behemoths don't get part breaks easily. Talking about most of the escalation bosses, things like that. Of course, it is easier if you're using catalysts, stuff like that, but these are all circumstantial things. When you actually break down a build to its bare bones, okay, don't talk to me about the theory. Show me. Show me the DPS. Show me that it is better. Because I've done so here. And you can clearly see why Asian robot builds work and why the meta builds, they claim they work, but they often rely on you playing at very low hit points or having no defensive capabilities. Slayers use them, they die, they get frustrated with the game, they leave. That is why people choose Asian robot builds. So before you come at me trying to prove that your build is better or whatever, go stream, go make videos, go show people. Prove it with action. Don't just give me theory. I don't want your theory. Okay? For those that were waiting for this video, thank you very much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you want to support this channel. All right? The best way you can do that right now is listen to my music on Spotify, Link is in the description of the video. It supports my channel for free. But if you want to help me out for real as well, you can also donate, join as a channel member, send super chats whenever I'm streaming. All of this helps to keep our channel running and ensures that you guys get the best quality content. All right, more support we get, the more we do. Thank you very much, and I will see you all on the next video. Y'all have fun now. I'm just kidding, I'm not leaving just yet because we still have to give thanks to our members. Don't think I forgot. And there are actually some new channel members who I want to give thanks to, so I'm going to do that right now. Okay, here we are. Giving thanks right from the top, starting with our top fan, we have DefDon982 at Plus Ultra. We've got Jerry Fast, Rogue Assassin, Old Mr. Cream Buff, Zach NFG. They're all prestige. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to our honored robots as well. Che D12, Stefan Geyer, Coffee, Underpaid Enlisted Soldier, I'm Peeps, Syed Assad Bakari, Pringle Bread, Tuan Gwen, Miss Eve, Tyler King, Brian Lancaster, The Oculus, Coda CMF, Kami SMH, Jammer Boy, Conrad C, Nate the Great, Curtis Schuster, MJ, Corey Ryu, Benjamin Savage, Lady Neo, and Greasy Burger. Thank you guys so much. I'll see y'all in the next one. Y'all have fun now.